Hello, everybody. Welcome to day 835 of the paper reading series. I'm your host, Brian Case. That's the paper, and this is the liquid, the undisclosed liquid. Not a brand deal. You have no idea what this liquid is. So now that we've introduced all the main characters, let's get into the juicy plot of this episode. In today's episode, paper gets eaten, and the fluids chase it down. You could call it a chase scene. It gets intense. Also, a little bit of a twist to this. I am sick. So if you notice that I throw up or, say some blood comes out of my nose or my eyes become bloodshot out of nowhere like Joe Biden during the 2020 debates randomly, just know that that's all because we're trying to add a little extra tension here. It's just theatrics. I'm not going to die. And because I'm sick, I will also speed it up. I say that every stream, just know these streams will get speedier and speedier. And there's a reason to do that because I just screw around and talk politics for 40 minutes instead of eating paper. If I were to just eat the paper, which I'm not doing because I'm talking, which is my entire point, then these streams would be like 5 minutes long max. So let's try and get closer to that because inevitably I'm just going to talk and fill space. So it's like... You guys don't need to be scared that I eat and then dip because we do these every day, including the pre-recorded that I didn't release until 2 o'clock this morning. But those should be more of the exception than the rule. 3, 2, wait. You weren't ready yet. 3, 2, 1. Oh, God damn it. This is inedible, all right? This is a different type of paper because not all paper's created equal. And we had a concerned viewer pop into the last stream yesterday. And by that, I mean the comment section, not live chat. We were not streaming yesterday. But a little bit ago, someone said, I hope you're using the right paper. And, I know you're new here, all right? I will give you a newbie pass, all right? A newbie freebie. But I do research, extremely heavy research, me and my team of 5 scientists. And we research heavily into... My cat's trying to eat my backpack. You don't need to do that, man. You got cat food. We got like a heavy supply of cat food here. Always asking for something more. But we've done our research, and this is the optimal paper here. Now, again, it's not fully edible, and it's not the equivalent of eating a strawberry, all right? It's not healthy. It has no protein, but it contains a minimum amount of bleach and toxic materials. Not that there are small amounts of shit inside of here that over a long period of time could cause negative effects. But the doctors have checked in, and all that's happened is some slight constipation, and I did bleed from my nose once, but I think that was more of a dry capillary thing, or capillary thing, rather than a paper thing. But you never know. The body's a spider web. Each thread is connected. Hey, Moses, how you doing? Here and ready to watch. That's such a sweet GPT catchphrase. We're going to pin that right there. I'm trying to reward engagement, especially engagement that is polite, generic, and helps foster a positive learning community here at the paper reading live stream. Now, my day, I'm going to be perfectly frank, we would have some shit up in like the 6 levels if it weren't for the fact that I am in fact sick. Given the fact that my knee's busted and the way I think is by pacing around, which I can't do because my knee is fucked now, and also the fact that I'm sick, which also impedes my thought process, I do think I'm faring quite well under the circumstances. So if it weren't for all of those things that can't be helped, we'd be up to a 6, which in of itself makes this day better. I was beginning to spiral again, but then had an unexpected self-confidence boost, and that's when you came on and clicked on this notification. I'm glad to help all of the mentally ill who need extreme help, which the solution is, of course, to watch someone eat inedible objects. I encourage for you to do the same. Poopy Whoopy Old Man gave me a heart. Thank you so much. If you can send any heart emojis that you'd like over to 858-216-5646. I'll be sure to send some back. Every single time I use an emoji here, it goes through like this weird YouTube version of an emoji, and it looks like shit. So send any emoji, and if you want a emoji reciprocation, go to that number, and then I'll send it back. Thank you. There he is. Him and his catchphrase. Sorry, Ian. We're going to replace that with Lance H78's iconic catchphrase, "It's my catchphrase." Dude, I wonder what the next Lance catchphrase is going to be. It's so exciting. I mean, and that's part of his character arc too. We should make like a logbook. Hey, Lance, can you take care of this for me? Every single catchphrase that you adopt, so far you have two. Write them down, and as your speech within this live chat evolves as along with the stream, we're going to kind of track how things move along, you know. And if you die or something, or you get run over by a car, or you commit suicide or something like that, we will memorialize you and read each catchphrase of yours in order. With, of course, organ music in the background. Whoa. I only sipped Dr. Pepper twice today. Only 2 small sips, and already lots of carbonation in these things, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. You've written them down? Okay, that's good. How much paper have I eaten? It's a very easy question to answer. I mean, just look at the number in the title of the stream. Although we are not counting, we should add a little bit more because I did eat paper in elementary school. So I would probably bump it up, round it up to about 1,000, possibly 1,300 at max. No more than 1,300 pieces. 2.4 out of 10, huh? No, if you were having anything above a 3, you wouldn't be here right now. Is this healthy? Another great question. Now, people often do the same thing that CNN does, and they try to overinflate one aspect of the scenario that I'm in. But keep note, I am sick because I work with people, and many people end up being sick. So I probably caught a stomach virus or some sort of chlamydia thing. The paper actually, as a matter of fact, builds up immunity. And I believe August 11th of 1944, there was a program where people ingested teeny tiny, very small, and if you've been here before, you know this story because I'm very familiar with it. They ingested small amounts of, what was it called? Of cyanide. Yeah, cyanide. Not enough to kill them, but just enough to enter their systems. And I'm talking about like a couple square nanometers worth of material. About a year later, I believe in September 14th of 1945, they were raided and shot with umbrella pellets filled with lethal doses of cyanide. The gentlemen played dead, but the Japanese were not dead. As a matter of fact, their body had built up immunity. And this immunity they gained was from this adaptation process their body developed centuries and centuries before cyanide was even a thing. New synthetic products that people would never expect to ever touch their bodies, that evolution never accounted for, it exists and it gets pumped into our bloodstreams, and yet the old evolution process that evolved eons ago still works on all of these new microplastics in our balls and the cyanide pumped into our bloodstreams. As long as it's not enough to kill you, it does make you stronger. I am eating right now. You got to look. Listen, I might be talking, but I'm also chewing. Pay attention. The world's not black and white like that. You know, multiple things are happening at once. Check the paper, huh? There we go. I'm pretty sick and really depressed, but both will go away soon. Moses right underneath says, I'm surrounded by gun nuts and crazy rainbow people. This is literally the most Rick and Morty subreddit live chat I've ever seen in my life. And then we have, what is that? An owl emoji. Very topical. I like that. When you eating one, just start eating, bro. Then I swallow the paper. Good shit. My live chat's very special today. Hold on. Wow, maybe I should start eating paper. And that's the cherry on top of the whole thing. I'm surrounded by rainbow people. I should start eating paper. Just eat paper, bro. Good shit. I just keep it real. Really, really bad YouTube peace emoji with bandage on it. I appreciate it, Ian. I mean, I'm really sick, like as in, oh, I'm sick of this shit, or as in like actually have like a stomach bug or something like that, because hashtag relatable me too. I have one as well. I would throw up, but then the paper would get thrown up too, and that'd be extra work for me, so I don't want to do that to myself. But I totally would throw up. Next time before I eat paper, just remind me to throw up, and I'll do it. It's fine. I got long fingers. I'll be able to put them in my throat. Horrible fever. Yeah, it affects your mindset too. Like, whenever I'm having a bad day or I trip on something or I drop my ice cream cone, the number one thing I tell myself is, at least I'm not sick right now and I feel okay, in the back of my head. And that always makes me feel just a little bit better. But now the balance is completely offset now that I, in fact, do feel sick and I don't feel that great in a bodily way. And so whenever I drop my ice cream cone, my thought process is, shit, my ice cream cone's gone and I feel like shit. So then I start crying. So it has a psychological effect on you. You'll be good, bro. Thank you. I mean, I'm still having a better day than Ian is. I scored a 5.1 and he scored a 6 point or a 2.4. So, you know, maybe you could use the paper you throw up and make a figure like paper mache. I could just get paper wet with like tap water, but I feel like if I throw up, I feel like I should do something unique with that regurgitated paper that I never could. I mean, that regurgitated paper will have stomach acid in it. So perhaps I could, use them as poisonous snowballs to throw at my neighbor or something, and piss him off. Because think about this. Has anybody tried, like, what'll happen to stomach acid if it goes outside your body, which is what happens when you throw up? You have to brush your teeth immediately because it'll start melting the enamel off your teeth. So I feel like it has to be acidic, and people have said that stomach acid melts steel. So if I were to throw up on purpose and then maybe soak the stomach acid in some sort of absorbent material, like say paper or a large sponge, and then throw it at someone, that could be a really great form of chemical warfare. Did the Romans ever do that? I know that the Romans, when they had big feasts, would want to taste every single dish, and they would drink a particular liquid that would trigger their, what's it called? Gag reflex? Yeah, they'd have a gag reflex. They'd throw up so that they could eat more food. Why not do that when you're fighting an enemy? I've heard stories in the medieval times of people dumping like rat feces and boiling water and, hot prime on people's heads. Why not do that with your own throw up? Do the same thing you did during your big Roman feasts. Drink the gut reflex, pardon me, by the way, your gut reflex liquid, throw up. The stomach acid that melts steel is now in your hands. Don't melt your hand off, and then throw them at your enemy. I've never heard any stories of anybody trying that. They always look for some form of chemical warfare at Best Buy or something like that when the most lethal chemicals are within them all along. Just throw up and then use the stomach acid that comes out and throw it at your neighbor. Am I going to walk around and throw up on the ops? Well, CNA gamers with a Z at the end. I'm just starting to get some bright ideas. I'm going to make a stomach acid ball next time I throw up. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, though. That's what you should do. I heard they had professional farters in medieval times. There are professional farters now. Just look up professional farter on YouTube. I mean, I'm part of that whole kind of landscape of people on YouTube who do extremely niche things no one ever wants to watch, who still gets viewers for some reason. I have 5 viewers. That's a big number. So didn't Mozart write like a fart concerto? It was like 3 minutes long. You guys think I'm kidding, but I'm not. Here. My mom doesn't believe me either, but yeah. No, never mind. It was Haydn's Fart Symphony. Mozart just like... Yeah, so the only thing that picked up when I Google searched this is Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart's final words are said to have been, "The taste of death is upon my lips. I feel something that is not of this earth." I think he was just about to fart. I think that's it. So no, there's no fart. Okay, I'm apparently a liar. Yeah, Haydn, Haydn. You're missing a vowel there, but yeah, Fart Symphony. What a weird name.
No, I think it is Hayd.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying though. It's weird because people in the 1700s just didn't know what the alphabet was, so all the names are misspelled. But yeah, that's what. So he's an actual composer, and he made a fart symphony. So I'm guessing he would get a bunch of people to. He would have auditions too. In order to get into a symphony, you'd have to have auditions. So you'd have to have someone expose their ass and fart and see if you could hit a C sharp or something. This place is horrible. You mean my live chat? Excuse me, you're insulting some people, but I know it is. Or are you saying like the Earth? Please don't end it, Ian. Actually, don't. We like your contributions to this live chat. I'm a professional farter. People just don't know it. If you're a professional, you're getting paid money. So you're saying you're a professional farter on the down low. You're getting paid money secretly. Money's being traded hands behind backs for you to secretly professionally fart. What sort of business are you dealing with here? This is a very lucrative business. You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of that Better Call Saul episode with the guy who was supposed to, the story was the Price was supposed to have a bunch of secret videotapes of pornographic nature, but it was just him sitting on pies fully clothed while crying. That's what you're doing right now, but with farting. I did put my phone number in there, so I can Venmo you up to $5 for, I guess, whatever you would consider the equivalent of $5. So you can send me your your fart video. If you take that seriously, whatever FBI agent's looking at my phone right now is going to be so confused. How much paper do you think you've consumed in your lifespan? This question was asked in this exact stream earlier. Because the number in this stream name, right, 835, I believe, that's not conclusive because I've been doing this. I've been eating inedible objects like staples and also glue since I was in preschool. But when it comes to the combination of paper I had and I ate, and also if you go to the main channel, years ago in 2019, the 30 subscriber paper eating ceremony where I ate 30 sheets of paper, which don't you dare ask me to recreate that because then I'd have to eat 1,060 pieces of paper. That would be a very long stream. I do believe that I, at max, ate 1,300 sheets of paper or the equivalent of that throughout my lifetime. And we're also considering the fact that there are certain pre-recordeds where I ate 3-ply toilet paper, but sometimes I'd half-ass it and only have one square. And even though that's 3-ply, that's like maybe 3/4 the surface area quota that would meet the requirements for a 8x11 sheet of printer paper. So I actually can't, you know, my stomach can only get so big. That will be a banned stream too, because when I have internal stomach bleeding, like it's going to get really gruesome. I don't think YouTube will let that stream stay up for longer than like maybe 3 hours. Have you had any complications caused by eating inedible objects? If so, what's the worst? Of all the negative side effects I've experienced by eating inedible objects, the worst one has been people in my comment section constantly asking me about the negative side effects caused by eating inedible objects. That's my personal least favorite. Aside from that, it's been pretty minor, some mild constipation. But what's crazy is like when I was in 3rd grade, which by the way, my 3rd grade year is the year where I ate the least amount of paper. I had constipation every 3 days. So, you know, people called me groaning Brian in elementary school. So I think that this is not a paper thing. It's just whenever any random health problem comes by me, which of course I'm getting old, I'm 22. People will just assume it's because of the paper. It's like when I redislocated my kneecap, it's like, yeah, the paper chemicals went into your kneecap and then pushed it out of its socket or something. People at my work, my floor manager was unironically telling me that. I'm like, dude, you live in a van. Calm down. I remember I did go to Sharp and the physician was treating my knee. He's like, yeah, you're looking pretty good. No tendons were torn. I'm like, did eating paper for 835 days cause for my knee to get dislocated? And he didn't even have a proper answer to that question. He was like, huh? What? I think I gave too much to him all at once. So the answer is obviously no, but then he's learning that I ate paper for 835 days. So I think he was disturbed. He started crying. Have you had any problems with the staples? Okay, that was way back in preschool. And yes, I did cough up bloody staples in the middle of nighttime or nap time during my class. Because in Miss Driscoll's class, we would have nap time and I'd be coughing up bloody staples, which did wake a couple people up. So yeah, maybe not going to persist with that one. I just remember that I wanted to eat candy and no one let me eat candy. The only way I could get candy was scrounge for quarters and go to Albertsons and get a single gumball that would lose its flavor in 5 seconds because it was double bubble. That's all they sold there. And so I was looking for anything that resembled candy. And I was really kind of stretching my imagination to make stuff look like candy. And one of those things was staples. There is no candy in the world that looks like a staple. So I don't know who I thought I was fooling, but I did fool myself and I was like, yummy. And then I would cough up a bloody staple later on. I'd say of all the negative side effects that happen from eating an inedible object, that has to be the worst. I don't think I've ever had a gag reflex that resulted in a full regurgitation with paper. I've done it for so long, you'd think it would have happened once. And I've been varying degrees of sick throughout all these streams, but it just hasn't happened a single time. Coming in with your 60-minute interview questions. What the hell? I don't think you've ever given a single sentence in this chat so far that isn't a question. You're very curious. Have you ever ate candy without opening it? That kind of aligns with what you do. No, because cellophane actually scratches the inside of your throat and it's a lot more synthetic and less organic and locally sourced than this paper here. People think because I eat paper, I'm in support of eating nails or condoms or your dad's fingernails. I'm not. I don't think all inedible objects are created equal. There's different levels of organicism, within different substances. And with paper, it's the perfect texture, the perfect blend of almost non-toxic chemicals, just the right amount of bleach too when they recolor the paper. A lot of stuff like that, it all combines into the perfect storm of the most edible, inedible object. Oh, I eat Starburst with the wrapper. Maybe I should stop. With Starburst wrappers, I believe it has like a waxy outer layer. I do think there's wax on it. I don't like wax. I just don't like the texture of it. And yes, I have tried eating a candle before, and it's subpar at best. I'm back. Can that be your new catchphrase? Can I pin that just to remind you to make that your third catchphrase? That's a really good, because there's less words to it. A catchphrase needs to be short and succinct. I'm back. Like, that's so iconic. Lance, say your famous catchphrase. I'm back. Yay! It's actually made for human consumption. Thank you, Moses. Yeah, I mean, we all knew that. That's why I'm eating paper. There's a whole community around here with thousands upon thousands of people engaging with live chat right now. It's all about the culture of eating paper. So, I mean, you're catching on. Oh, you're talking about rice paper. No, I don't want to take the easy way out. Doing 100 push-ups, girl style, on my knees. No one would watch that because they'd click on, and when they would see that I'm doing the easy version of push-ups, they would send me a middle finger emoji and then leave. Baguette Man 1738, great name by the way, with a really good profile picture. It matches your name. Says, is eating paper healthy? I want to leave this as an open-ended question. I want for you to watch how I react to eating paper, and I want for you to decide. As you can see, I'm not dead. Let your minds be. I'm not telling you what to think, but whatever happens, and most importantly, what you don't notice or what you notice doesn't happen to me, make up your minds from what you see. If you see my face turn green or purple, then maybe not. But my face is mostly not purple right now. And the purple parts, that's just because of my skin problems. So that has nothing to do with the paper. So I'm not the first one to get the idea of eating paper. Yeah, Moses, I know you're a born again Christian. So like, actually, no, you were a Christian when you were born. You were a born once Christian. And there was a guy who ate 1 page of the Bible a day, right? I'm kind of committing to a less blasphemous version of that. Also, Bible paper, it does not react well to saliva. It does not change its texture. What did you think of the Uncle Samsonite web series? If I checked it out yet, fuck. God, you're giving me so many catchphrases, and I haven't even given you one watch of this web series. I got to bookmark it. There's probably a YouTube playlist with the series on there. If I can just add that to my YouTube playlist list, it's my list of playlists, then I think I can actually give you what you want here, and I want to see it too. So apologies, I have not seen it yet. Some dude from Friends beat you by 2.5 decades. Okay, thing one, Moses, why do you watch Friends? Thing number two, whoever this loser from Friends was, it was probably rice paper, as a matter of fact. It was probably some pussy form of paper that isn't even real. All right, do you think that Friends is reality TV? Friends is a fictional, Moses, knock, knock, none of those people are real. They're all made up characters. That paper was probably not, that was probably CGI, all right? And I bet they didn't eat 835 pieces of CGI paper. This is 835 pieces of real paper, all right? I'm feeling it right now with my dirty fingers. Moses says, I don't watch Friends, lol. Tell it to the judge. That's what they all say. If you had to relive the same day over and over in a time loop, what would be the perfect day to repeat? I think this day where I'm interrogating Moses about watching, like I love interrogating people about supposedly not watching the TV show Friends. It's fun to watch them start sweating. They get so panicked. Wait, shit, I just admitted I watch Friends. Shit. No, I don't. I read that in an article about Friends from BuzzFeed, which is even more embarrassing. Just watching their mental faculties break down. Looked up guy who eats paper and got result. Yeah, right. You're telling me you Google searched guy who eats paper? Tell that one to the judge. I got 3 catchphrases so far. I think they're getting better. I'm back. That's probably the best one yet. I don't remember what your first one was, but dude, so many crazy characters. Moses, is that picture of the Seattle Space Needle on your profile picture? Is that generated by AI? It really looks like AI generated vector art. I'm being like a little too mean to you. I do apologize, but I just noticed that, and I can't tolerate that. I'm just curious. You could make your profile picture anything. My first one was sup. Oh shit, that was more short and succinct. Well, I think we'll be able to find something like I feel like you can get even further down. You can reduce your catchphrases even more. There's got to be a 2-letter catchphrase. We'll work our way up to that or work our way down to that. Let's be patient. That's just a random profile pic. That doesn't make any sense. It's in your camera roll, so you'd have to save it for some reason. I know that doesn't count. When something is catchphrase material, it can't be forced out. It has to be natural, but we're working our way up. Yeah, I'm playing dots and boxes with somebody on Game Pigeon, but that can wait. This is more important. He actually watches Big Bang Theory. Holy shit, actually. I do know Moses in real life, and he does seem like a Big Bang Theory kind of guy, which is good because science is for smart people. And Moses, I'm sure you know how to do math, probably. So, are you asking GPT icebreaker party questions? This is really interesting. If you could eat, if frozen ice could fall in any flavor, what would it be? Something like that. If you suddenly gained the ability to smell emotions, what do you think a different feelings would smell like? I think insecurity would smell like sulfur, but that's just because whenever I interact with someone who's insecure, I feel slightly sick and then I fart. So that might just be natural association. I think that jealousy would smell like it would smell like freshly clipped grass. I can't tell you the reasoning behind that, but that's my best guess. There's so many emotions, I can't go through all of them, but to name a third one, let me think. What would I choose? I'm actually going to have to think about this for a second. To make it a little simpler, I feel like sadness would probably smell like when you run a washing machine and there's lint and then all the clothes get wet and then you forget to put it in the dryer and you leave it in the washing machine for like maybe a good 3 days on accident and it gets that real big wet belly button lint smell to it. Actually, I knew a bassist who smelled like that. It was terrible. He sweat all the time, so in a way, he was like a big washing machine, and the sweat washed all over the clothes he was wearing. And then he would just leave it on for like a couple days at a time. It smelled like a moist old washing machine with all of the lint kind of gathering up, creating this kind of lint sweat smoothie. That's what sadness would smell like. Every time I think about that, I actually start getting a little somber. Anger would smell like sriracha or something spicy. Um, No, for me, I feel like anger would smell like kind of an overcooked walnut. Like imagine putting no cooking oil, no nothing. Start an oven, preheat it to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. Get a small cooking tray and place a single walnut on there and leave it in there for maybe about 3 hours. The burnt piece of gristle that comes out, to me, the smell from it will represent anger. Oh, are you watching Megamind? Hold on, let me finish. Okay, guys, I gotta leave. My mom's putting on Megamind, and we gotta watch it. Thank you so much for watching day 835. I'll see you tomorrow. That'll be day 836. Make sure to live, laugh, cry, and also not die. And until next time, this is goodbye. All right, see you later. Goodbye. All right.